When is a hogshead not the head of a hog? You'll find out as one of these three contestants wins the chance to drive home in this brand new Pontiac Fiero GT in just a split second. And now, here's the star of our show, Monty Hall.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much. Nice to have you all here. Thank you very much for coming, contestants, audience. A hogshead isn't the head of a hog right here in the United States when it's used to define a unit of capacity of 63 gallons. Now, did you know that? You do now. And now we come right over to our returning champion. Eric Reiter on split second has won 3 straight days, picked up about $1,475, turned down the fur jacket at $2,000 in cash yesterday because he said, I want to come back today and try. And today being the 4th day, the odds will improve for you if you win your championship again. And then you can really study your medieval history and perhaps drive to classes in your new car with the electric guitar in the back seat.
Yeah, we all set.
Well said. You still haven't brought the guitar in to play for us, but I'm still hoping you will.
Oh, yeah, sometime before I'm off the show.
Oh, you intend to be here that long, do you? Okay. And we're going to meet the other 2 contestants right now.
Well, Monty, meet a lady who found out the hard way. She's not cut out to be a duck farmer, Catherine Marion. And next to her is a man who still keeps up his collection of comic books after all these years, Ron Wilk.
Welcome to the show, Catherine and Ron. Eric is a very tough champion, and you got your work cut out for you if you want to dethrone him. He's been winning his matches every day. Let's see how well you do today. Let me explain for the audience at home how we play split second. Every time we have a question, there are 3 potential answers to it, but I want only one answer from each of our contestants. If all 3 of them give me a correct answer, they get $10. If 2 of them come up with the correct answer, it's $25 each, and if only one person comes up with the answer, it's $50 for that person. All right? If you're ready to go, get ready to buzz in. Don't buzz in before we see the full question or we'll lock you out. You have to have perfect timing and, of course, a lot of knowledge. Let's go fishing and see if you can land these fish. Pick a group. Tell me what kind of fish the group describes. Look at the screen. There are groups of them. What kind of fish do they describe? Eric.
Albacore, skipjack, and yellowfin are tuna.
They are tuna, and good tuna, too. Catherine.
Chinook, coho, and sockeye are salmon.
Yes, and I fished for those. Ron?
And rainbow, cutthroat, and brown are trout.
You're all right. You know your fish, and you get $10 each. Big court cases make for big news. Here are the folks who brought the complaint. Tell me who they were suing. Look at the screen. General Westmoreland, he sued a network. General Sharon, he sued a magazine. And Vanessa sued an orchestra. Eric.
Sharon sued Time magazine.
Correct. Catherine.
General Westmoreland sued CBS.
Good for you. Ron.
The London Symphony?
No, she sued the Boston Symphony when they canceled an appearance. So Eric and Catherine get $25 each.
Okay.
Now think of your Sunday school days because I'm going to give you some information about 3 men of the Old Testament, and I want you to name them. Look at the screen. He lived a long time, didn't he? And then someone commanded the sun to stand still and called down the plagues on Egypt. Aaron, you're in first.
He lived 969 years, Methuselah.
That's a long time. Eric.
Moses called down the plagues on Egypt.
Right, and who commanded the sun to stand still? Catherine?
Abraham.
No, Joshua. Joshua did. And so Eric and Ron, the 2 gentlemen, get $25 each. You know, in the USA, we have famous folks with noble last names, such as the actress Patty Duke. I'll give you the first names of 3 people who have a royal title for their last name. You pick one and give me their royal last name. A theatrical producer, an actress, and a comedian. Catherine, you're first.
I am. Actress, Butterfly McQueen.
Butterfly McQueen is right. You see, you were so nervous you got the answer. Ron.
Comedian Alan King.
Alan King. And Eric, the theatrical producer is?
Harold Prince.
Harold Prince. All 3 of you are right. You see, Catherine, you don't have to be nervous at all. You just came up with the first answer just like that.
Oh, yes, I have to be nervous.
I'll tell you what. Be nervous.
Okay.
Okay. You look cute when you're nervous. From the mid-50s to the early 60s, the group called the Platters charted at least 20 top 40 hits. I'll give you part of the titles of 3 of their biggest hits. You pick one and complete that title. Look at the screen. The Great, Twilight, and Harbor. Catherine.
The Great Pretender.
That's right. Eric.
Harbor Lights.
That's right. And Ron?
Twilight Zone, I don't know.
Good guess. It was Twilight Time. So Eric and Catherine get $25 each. We're in the first round, and our champion is in first place. You might be a cut-up with a pair of scissors, but in sports, scissors has an altogether different meaning. So tell me, in what sports would you find these types of scissors? Look at the screen. A scissors kick, these scissors, and a scissors hold. Ron.
Scissors is in high jumping.
No, not in high jumping. Although I'm going to tell you something that I'm going to accept that answer because there is a scissors in high jumping that our researchers didn't know about, but fortunately I'm old enough to know. So I'm going to give you a right answer on that. Eric.
The scissors hold is in wrestling.
That's right. And the scissors kick?
Swimming.
Good for you, all three of you. Linda. You see, now that they've gone for the Fosbury flop in the high jump, they forget that the scissors was the way that they used to jump. All right. Of the many famous quotes and slogans associated with world leaders, some are tinged with irony. I'll show you some ironic quotes. You name the leader they pertain to. Look at the screen. And these are some ironic quotes. And Eric, tell me about them.
He kept us out of war was Woodrow Wilson.
He kept us out of war was Woodrow Wilson. That's right. Ron.
I am not a crook as Richard Nixon.
And Catherine, peace for our time.
Oh, he's British. Oh, I haven't got it.
Oh, when I tell you, you'll jump. Neville Chamberlain.
Yes,
Of
yes.
course, the famous umbrella and all that. Remember that? All right, Eric and Ron, we have some money for you, and Ron has now moved into a tie for second place with Catherine. Our champion still leads. Paradise is the name we give to a place of ideal beauty. But we have other words for ideal places. Here are descriptions of 3 ideal places, and you name them. Ideal places. The James Hilton land, the Bible's perfect garden, and Sir Thomas More's ideal land. Ron, you're first.
The Bible's perfect garden is Eden.
Yes, Eric.
Sir Thomas More's ideal land is Utopia.
Yes, and Catherine. James Hilton wrote about the land of eternal youth. Shangri-La.
Of course.
Of course. It is nervous time sitting there and having to come up with an
Yes.
answer that fast, isn't it?
Yes,
All right,
I
Eric
know.
and Ron get $25 each. Do you remember the wonderful book and the TV play on Roots? It was made into a TV miniseries. And here are 3 questions about Roots. You pick one and answer it. Look at the screen. We want the author, the name of the main character, and the main character's daughter, if you can remember. Eric.
Name of the main character is Kunta Kinte.
Kunta Kinte is right. Ron?
The author of Roots was Alex Haley.
Right. And Catherine, what was the name of Kunta Kinte's daughter?
Number 3 loses.
Number 3 loses. It was Kizzy Kinte. Kizzy Kinte. Now, don't feel too bad, Catherine. We've ended the first round. You may be in third place, but when we resume for the second round, all stakes are doubled, and you can make a comeback. Eric's in the lead. Ron is second, Catherine third. Round 2 right after this. On split second, we like to meet our contestants, find out something about them. And Catherine, at the beginning of the show, Sandy Hoyt said that you had learned the hard way how not to be a duck farmer. What was the hard way? Did you go in, invest money, and lose?
Well, we were very idealistic. And we decided we'd go and build our own house and raise ducks and vegetables and children in the woods. And,
Oh, sounds great.
And we found out that not only could we not bring ourselves to eat ducks, but we were allergic to duck eggs.
The whole thing was quite a failure, right?
Yeah.
Did you sell a lot to the famous restaurants so they could have duck orange and all those sort of things?
No, we were too far away from those restaurants.
Oh, too bad. Well, so what do you do now? Did you move back into the city?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that usually happens. Mr. Blandings built his dream house and all these other things. And Ron, you have a collection of comic books. You know, that could be very valuable.
It certainly can. One of the books, in fact, I picked up in the summer, just this past summer, is now gone up from $250 cover price, now $45.
$45 for that. What was that comic
That
book?
was by Frank Miller, The Dark Knight. It's Batman 10 years after he's retired. It's,
I've got a question for you. Do you have the comic book Monty Hall of the Marines?
No, I don't. Not yet. I'll
Yes,
look
there
for it.
was. It had nothing to do with me because they took it from the halls of Montezuma and they called the character Monty Hall of the U.S. Marines.
I'll look for that one then.
You do it, then you send it to me, right? I had one and I lost it, but it was quite interesting to possess one of those things that had your name in it. All right, let's go on with our duck farmer and our comic book collector and, of course, our medieval history major. Eric, Catherine, John, we're going to second round, and we double the stakes, and, of course, we're playing for that advantage going into the countdown round. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Horses have been pulling different sorts of vehicles for years and years. I'll describe 3 of those horse-drawn vehicles. Pick one and name it. Look at the screen. There's a 2-wheel vehicle, and Russian carriage, and a driver's vehicle at the trotters. And you people at home see how good you are. Catherine.
A Russian carriage drawn by 3 horses is a troika.
That is correct. Eric?
Two-wheeled vehicle used in war and races is a chariot.
Yes, and Ron? What do you call that driver's vehicle at the trotters?
The trotter thing.
The trotter thing, yeah. The trotter thing is it's a sulky.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Eric and Catherine score $50 each in this round. When one of you scores in this round, it's $20. When 2 of you score, it's $50. If one of you gets it all by itself, it's $100. Only 4 state capitals have the word city in their name. One is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I'll name the other states. Pick one to name the capital city that has city in its name. The capital of Missouri, Utah, and Nevada all have city in the name. Catherine?
Utah, Salt Lake City.
That's correct. Eric?
Jefferson City, Missouri.
That is correct. Ron?
Carson City, Nevada.
All 3 are right. All 3 get $20. Good for you. Tom, Dick, and Harry are all movie stars of past and present. I'll name their big pictures. You name the star's last name. Tom, Dick, and Harry, which ones are they for these movies, Ron?
Tom Cruise from Top Gun.
That's correct. Eric?
Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins.
That's right. And the old-timer for Trader Horn was Harry Carey. Carey, one of the great old film stars. So, Catherine, you can start getting nervous again.
Yes, I am.
Because now Ron has passed you in second place, Eric is in first place, and we go on to music. Jazz. Count Basie is known to play the piano as his primary instrument. These 3 famous musicians are also known for playing a specific instrument. Name their instruments. Look at the screen. Gene Krupa, Dizzy Gillespie, and Tommy Dorsey. Now, Catherine.
Gene Krupa, drums.
Good for you, Eric.
Dizzy Gillespie, the trumpet.
That's right, and Ron?
Tommy Dorsey is trombone.
Oh, you guys are too good. All 3 of you right. $20 apiece. What do you know about astronauts? They have famous nicknames. Here are the formal names of 3 great astronauts. Pick one and give me his first name, nickname. Donald Slayton had one, and Edwin Aldrin had one, and Virgil Grissom had a nickname. Catherine?
Virgil Grissom is Gus.
Yes. Ron?
Edwin Buzz Aldrin.
Edwin Buzz Aldrin. Eric?
Donald Spacey Slayton.
Good try. No, it was Deke Slayton. Deke Slayton. And we take the point look now, and Eric has 320, Ron 220, Catherine 170. Most of us know that there are 9 players on a baseball team, 5 players on a basketball team. Pick one of the following 3 sports and tell me how many players on the team. Look at the screen. A Canadian football team, a field hockey team, and a water polo team. Ron?
Canadian football team is 12.
Yes, 1 more than American. Eric?
Field hockey is 6.
No, I'm sorry, that's not right. Catherine?
5.
No, field hockey team 11, water polo 7. Ron, you get $100 all by yourself. That puts you in the lead. When offering a toast, we might say to our friends, cheers, which they do in England. If we toasted them with the following words, what language would we be using? Look at the screen. We've got salute, prosit, and skål. Catherine?
Skål, Sweden.
Skål, well, I have Danish and Norwegian, but I'm sure that Sweden is part of the Scandinavian countries. They would say the same thing. Yes, I'll accept that. And Ron?
Prosit is German.
That's right. And Eric?
Salud is French.
Spanish. And Catherine and Ron get $50 each, and Ron has moved into the lead. Eric is second, Catherine third. Famous comedians of today and yesterday have created characters that live in our memories. So here are 3 well-known characters you saw on TV. Name the male comedian who created them. Look at the screen. Who created Geraldine, Maude Frickert, and Gertrude? All created by male comedians. Catherine?
Geraldine... No,
Ron?
Geraldine is Flip Wilson.
Yes, and Eric?
Maude Frickert is...
And I bet you if I went back to Catherine now, she'd tell me who created Maude Frickert. Jonathan Winters, they both knew that.
Yeah.
And Gertrude the Seagull by Red Skelton. He did that very famous thief gull. I'm going to show you 3 of the most successful slogans in the history of advertising. Pick one and name the product it represents. Look at the screen. When it rains, it pours. A prize in every box, and 99.44, 100% pure. Eric?
Prize in every box is Cracker Jacks.
Right. Catherine?
when it rains, it pours salt.
Do you know the name of it? Just for the fun of it, I'm going to accept salt. Did you know the name of the brand?
Morton's.
Yeah, good for you. You don't get extra points. I just want to know if you knew. Ron?
And 99.40 for 100% pure is Ivory soap.
Good for you. All 3 of you score in that round. I'm going to give you the names of 3 well-known comic strip babies. Pick one and give me the first name of its famous mother. Look at the screen. Pebbles, Baby Dumpling, and Bam Bam. Catherine?
Well, I buzzed first, but I don't know.
but I know that the buzzer just sound. And Ron?
Pebbles is Wilma Flintstone.
Wilma, yes. And Eric?
Bam Bam is Betty Rebel.
And it's Betty Rubble. And Baby Dumpling's mother was Blondie from Bumstead's family. And so the two gentlemen score points again in the second round. We have a new leader. We have Ron, who is leading at $590, Eric at $390, Catherine at $290. And of course, Ron's going to have an advantage in the countdown round coming right up. Well, this is the countdown round, which determines who goes for the car. The question is just as before, but there's a little difference. Now when you buzz in, you can give me 1, 2, or all 3 answers to the question. That helps somebody who's trailing come from behind. Every time you give a correct answer, you count down one number. First one down to 0 is the winner. How many do you have to answer? Well, Ron, you were the leader at the end of the second round with the most money, so you have to answer the least amount of questions, 4. Eric, you're in second place. Our champion has to answer 5. Catherine has to answer 6. You have a chance to go for that car, and let's see how well you do as we go into the countdown round. Ready? Here we go. The treatment of disease by physical or mechanical means is physiotherapy. I'll give you descriptions of 3 other kinds of therapy. You give me its one-word name. Look at the screen. The one where you use extreme cold, the chemicals, and external water. And Eric is in.
Chemicals is chemotherapy.
Correct. Continue.
Extreme cold, hydrotherapy.
Extreme cold is not hydrotherapy. No, sorry. Catherine, you're next.
Use of external water for therapy is hydrotherapy.
Yes, and do you know the extreme cold for therapy? Ron, do you?
Hypotherapy.
No, cryotherapy. Cryo. And look at the score right now. 4 for Eric, 5 for Catherine, 4 for Ron. I'm going to give you 3 major events from World War II. Name the city or place where the event transpired. Look at the screen. In 1945 and 1940, another in 1945. 3 famous events. Eric is in.
Japanese surrendered on the battleship Missouri.
That's right. You may continue.
The English evacuated from Dunkirk.
That's right.
And the Germans surrendered in Paris.
No, they didn't. Ron?
Germans, I don't know.
And do you know, Catherine? It was in the town of Reims. And Eric needs just 2 to win. Ron needs 4. Catherine needs 5. We go on to the next question. Being a political strongman is often a hazardous occupation. In fact, the 3 dictators I'm going to describe all wound up overthrown. Name them. The founder of fascism, defeated by the Sandinistas and overthrown by Castro. Eric.
Founder of fascism was Adolf Hitler.
No, that's not correct. Catherine.
Defeated by Sandinistas, Somoza.
That's right. Continue.
Overthrown by Castro, Batista.
That's right. And do you know the founder of fascism?
Nope.
Do you, Ron?
Mussolini.
That's correct. And take a look at the score now. Eric needs 2. Catherine needs 3. Ron needs 3. Any one of you can go out on this next question. The Iliad and Odyssey are well-known examples of epic poems. Tell me what kind of poems these are. Look at the screen. The 14-line Shakespearean, the 5-line humorous, and the Keats poem. Now, Eric.
A 14-line Shakespearean is a sonnet.
You need 1 more to win the game.
And Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn.
Ode on a Grecian Urn is right. It's an ode, and you have won. The humorous poem is the limerick. And our champion has done it again. You did it again. Eric became a 4-time champion. You had to come from behind this time to do it. A great race given to you by Catherine and Ron. Catherine, you pick up $290, and Ron, I thought maybe you were going to take it this time, but you do get $590. Congratulations. Thank you for being with us on the show. It was delightful having you too, Catherine. You don't have to be nervous any longer. Eric, come with me. Let's see if we can win the car today as we improve the odds in your favor. Well, our 4-time champion, Eric, is going to go for this car once again. Sandy?
Monty, that's the sporty Pontiac Fiero GT, equipped with all of Fiero's standard features, like the fuel-injected V6 engine, cruise control, an AM/FM stereo cassette player, plus pop-off sunroof and air conditioning.
Eric, because you're a 4-time champion, we have improved the odds for you. There are 5 screens back there, but now 4 of them say car, not 3. So the odds have improved dramatically for you. You get to choose 3 windows, and you have to pick 3 of those 4 that are up there. And if you do, the car is yours. If you don't, you still have a chance at that fur and some cash. Now, which do you want? And just name them off one at a time.
2.
Number 2. Turn around 2 and see if it's there. Is there a car back there? There. Oh, the very first one! I can't believe it. Turn around the other ones. Turn around the other windows and show him. Look at this. He had 4 windows to choose from. Take a look at the other 4. They all say car. Turn around 5 as well. Number 5. You picked the one of the... Can you believe? Everything else you couldn't lose. That was the only one that could beat you was number 2. Well, you know what that means? That means that we're going to offer you this lovely fur. Let's hear about that.
It's an elegant white mink sweater with accents of blush mink and Italian knitted wool. The sleeves detach to convert it into a versatile vest from Dicker & Dicker of Beverly Hills.
Well, Eric, you may have lost the car for today and a most unusual guest there, but listen to what your choice is. If you want to take that fur and I'll up the ante to $3,000 in cash, the fur and $3,000, you can take it with your winnings of the show so far, which is over $1,800, and you can say, I'm going to take that and run right now. Or you could say, no, I'm going to pass it all up and try for that 5th win today, because if you win on our next program, you win the car automatically. What is your decision?
Gonna go for it.
He's going for the car. Come back and join us tomorrow on Split Second when Eric goes for that automobile, and let's hope that he wins it. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.
Split Second is a Stephen Hayes Monty Hall production.